Welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal channel. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal 2, Westham 0 in a very, very easy game. Westham barely did anything in that game. And if there is a game that shows you Arsenal have really, I would say, matured and have really developed and become better, it is this West Ham game. Now, obviously, West Ham is one of the teams that are struggling at the moment, but West Ham is a fixture that has been disturbing Arsenal in the last 3-4 years, and it's one of the games that we barely win. They somehow find a draw, they somehow find a point, or even win against Arsenal. But this was a game. Arsenal came into this game willing to win and needing to win. Obviously, we're now on top of the table. Liverpool, until they play, will be second. And I never expected Arsenal to lose. I never expected Arsenal to draw. I never expected West Ham to put in, to put us under pressure. And that was the way it was. I'm going to talk about Arsenal's performance. I'll talk about West Ham, but I'll also talk about such performances when you really want to win the league. What do they mean, and why are they so important? Because you can't play difficult games all the time, and you can't play big teams all the time. But how do you play against the smaller teams? How do you play against the teams that are not doing well? And what does that do to the confidence of the team? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. There is that Martin Odegaard injury that seems to be a recurring problem now. Odegaard has picked up now 3 different injuries in the Premier League, and we've only played 7 games this campaign. What is going on? I don't know. But we'll talk about Mikel Arteta's bravery. He started with Odegaard and Eze, and it kind of seemed to pay off. Arsenal were very, very attacking in the first half. And then we'll talk about Rice coming on, not Rice coming on, but Martin Zubimendi coming on, and then Declan Rice and Eze taking on the attack, and how this team has improved. But who was your man of the match? I don't know. Personally, I'm still going to go for Declan Rice. I think the last 2 games that we have played in the Premier League, Declan Rice has been such a key player for us. He's been such a monster for us, and I think that Declan Rice that we saw at West Ham, we are seeing again. He's running more, he's winning the ball more, but he's also, I don't know whether this guy is a robot or he's, because in the Premier League, hell, in the whole world, there is no one that does what Declan Rice does, like he does it. I mean, there was a guy called Serge Milinkovic-Savic. He was at, was he at Lazio or Napoli? No, he was at Lazio. Serge Milinkovic-Savic was that engine. And I remember way back in 2020, 2021, I was pleading for Arsenal to sign Serge Milinkovic-Savic because he's such an engine. He's such, a physicality. And I wanted him, right? But Declan Rice is a cheat code. You cannot be that good defensively, and you're that good offensively. You're that reliable. You don't pick up injuries. He's like a robot, isn't he? So it's my man of the match. The goal. We'll talk about the goal and the importance of the goal because it came at a very, very crucial time. And of course, against the West Ham team that he's come from, the emotions are still there. But I really, really loved their performance. Now, I want to be honest. This was not Arsenal's best performance, and that is one of the worst opponents we have played this campaign. And I'm saying this after playing Leeds, and I'm saying this after we've played Nottingham Forest. West Ham, they really need to find a way back, otherwise they're in real trouble this campaign. What was that? That was a very bad performance. That was a performance where Arsenal felt zero threat from the opponent. They didn't try to do enough counterattacks. They didn't try to protect the ball enough. They didn't try to press well enough. They didn't try to stop us while we were attacking them. Like, if you ask me, Cossy, what were the 3 things that you could pick from that West Ham performance? I do not know. Maybe Iraola? Maybe? I don't know. It was a very bad performance. And that takes me to the whole point of this video. As Arsenal, these are the games that we are going to find more in the Premier League as we try to win the Premier League title this season. You're going to find more teams that are actually not good. You're going to find more teams that are actually not very good. So how you win these games and how you approach these games is going to be very, very crucial. Because if you don't win such games, if you don't win such games comfortably, you're not building confidence and you're not adding to that goal difference. And I'm a little bit disappointed, honestly, that we didn't create more clear-cut chances and we didn't score more, because West Ham was there for the taking, right? I think this season, they have already lost 3-0 to Sunderland, and Sunderland are a team that is just coming through the championship. They've already lost 3-0. That tells you all about the quality of this team. And what I saw today was a horror show. There was nothing in that team. So we could have scored more. We could have, created more. Let's get into the importance of this game and let's get into the dynamics of the game as well. The first thing we saw from Mikel Arteta in this one, and I think we're going to see more of it going forward, he came to attack, he came to pick up 3 points, and obviously to build the confidence and obviously to try and show off his new tools as a Victor Gyökeres. He came off to show the attacking firepower that we have. And if you look at the starting 11 in this game, it is very different from what we are used to with Mikel Arteta. We had Mikel Merino on the bench. We had Martin Zubimendi on the bench, right? What does that tell you? Well, Mikel Arteta is now, I think he's transitioned and transformed as a manager. He's gone, okay, maybe it's a little bit okay for me to not over-defend. Maybe it's a little bit okay for me to be less cautious about, this whole thing. Maybe it's okay for me to play football that is attacking when I can. Okay, when you're playing Liverpool and you have Merino and Declan Rice and Martin Zubimendi, I will understand. Liverpool are a pretty damning side. But when you're playing West Ham, are you going to play the same starting 11? No. Can you show us some aggression? Can you show us some ambition? Can you show us some bit of desire? That's what we saw. Odegaard started with Eberechi Eze, and he didn't play Martin Zubimendi. He actually played Declan Rice. And this was the point. So the point is, with Martin Odegaard starting on the pitch, you have a player that can break through the lines in the first phase of play and the second phase of play for us to progress into the third phase of play. And in the third phase of play, you have a clear-cut number 10. You have a clear-cut creative player in Eberechi Eze that is definitely going to try to score, get into dangerous areas, and create very good chances for himself or other players. And in this game, Eberechi Eze, that miss needs to be investigated. Like, we know he's a player that has got his confidence. He loves playing for Arsenal. How he misses that, I will never understand. Like, the ball ricochets off the West Ham defense, and it finds him planted right in front of goal. How he doesn't score that, I don't know. I will never understand, and I am not interested really. We've won the game. But that is the whole point of starting with Odegaard and Eze. Odegaard loves to drop deep. Odegaard loves to carry the ball from deeper areas. And when you have him as your creative player, it means that your best creator or your most creative player is like 3 minutes away from the final third, right? So what happens then? It means that the opposition is going to be very comfortable because Odegaard, who's your creative player, is now in your own half trying to carry the ball. So what Mikel Arteta understood is simple. I am going to play Martin Odegaard and Declan Rice, and then I'm going to have Eberechi Eze as the player that penetrates the final third. And we saw problems for West Ham today. Because even when it came to dropping deep, Eze wasn't dropping deep that much before Odegaard went off. It was Leandro Trossard who was dropping deep. So if you're West Ham, that is problems. You have Gyökeres and Eze and Saka who are actually having very high starting positions. So your backline is busy. But do you know the guys that are actually dropping deep, the guys that are coming for you? It is Rice, is Odegaard, and Trossard. You don't want that. There is no team, however solid you are, you don't want that. And Mikel Arteta has just proven to the whole world, I can attack, I just didn't have the equipment, right? Remember in the summer when I said Arsenal really need to find an attacking player, an attacking midfielder? And many people were saying, because we don't need an attacking midfielder, Odegaard is enough. Odegaard is an attacking midfielder, but it's a little bit deeper. I think Odegaard is a bit of like Ilkay Gundogan. You're not going to ask 20 assists from them, but when they're not in the team, you will feel their impact. And when they're in the team, it's like, you know, they're the fuel in the motor, right? The motor runs better when you have the fuel, right? But most of the time, you don't see the fuel until it's not there. When you don't have the fuel, you're like, what's actually going on? So, and I'm so happy that Odegaard is no longer the metronome of this team. He's no longer the guy that is inevitable. But when he's in the team, everybody can say, wow, that was such a very, very good performance. Now, the attacking point of view, I'm happy. Let's talk about the game. In the first half, Arsenal go into halftime leading by a goal to nil. And in the second half, we get another and the game is sealed. The first thing I want to say is I'm happy with the way we are barring games. I'm happy with the way we are winning games. Olympiacos, 2-0. 2-0 against West Ham. Nottingham Forest, 3-0. There was that 5-0 win against Leeds and the 1-0 win against Manchester United. For a team like Arsenal, we never concede goals. Like, you look at our defensive shape and our defensive quality, we never concede goals. For us to go the other way and, you know, score 3-2, 4-5, that is scary to anyone who watches Arsenal. Think about this way. Liverpool have lost one game, right? And they have not drawn any other games, okay? So Liverpool have been on a consistent run until Crystal Palace. But our goal difference is so much better than Liverpool's. I think our goal difference is 10, and Liverpool's goal difference is about 5 or 6. What that tells you is this Arsenal team, on top of the defensive record, which we have had for like 3 years, we have now added the goals. So in the first half, we create good chances. We didn't take all of them. And that's going to happen to any good team, right? I would rather see my team score 3 goals from 8 good chances than score 1 goal from 1 good chance. We have so many avenues of scoring goals now. Corners, free kicks, Saka is an avenue on his own, isn't he? Eze now, and then the midfield, the left-hand side and the right-hand side. All sides are much better. So that first half was all about Arsenal suffocating opponents. That first half was all about Arsenal just breaking down opponents. And then after that, we come into the second half. And this is what I loved about the second half. And this is something that we didn't have last season. Arsenal could play very well in the first half and maybe even lead a goal to nil. Remember, this might not be true, but I'm going to say it. Arsenal is one of the teams that lost the most number of points from winning positions. Like, you're leading 1-0, you're leading 2-0, you're leading 2-1, and then the game ends 1-1 or you've lost. And that was because our first halves and our second halves were different. Arsenal were good in the first half, and then we were typically poor in the second half. That doesn't happen this season, and that we saw today. Again, Arsenal came back in this game, and you've seen this. You must have seen this. Everyone on the pitch came to play. Like in the second half, everyone came to give their all, and I loved it, right? And I really did. So for me, this is a casual performance. The confidence we pick from this one is remarkable. And the next 5 games that Arsenal have, apart from Westham, I think we have what? Burnley in there. There is Crystal Palace in there. Palace are a very good side under Oliver Glasner, but you could suffocate them. You could find a way to beat them. There is, we have 5 winnable fixtures, right? As opposed to a Liverpool side that have a Manchester City there. They have Manchester United, which is, always a problem for them. It's like a derby. Maybe Arsenal win their next 5 games, and maybe we are on top of the table by like 3 points or 2 points. And that opens up a gaping hole. So Arsenal win comfortably. On to the next one.